What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Walk with Lance. This is where I take my morning Bible devotional, I record, upload it, and share it with you guys. Like I said before every video, don't view me as a spiritual leader, pastor, prophet. I'm not. I'm the average Joe trying to show other average Joes that you can be in the Word more, that you can study it more, that the only true way to learn some of the things that you question is to read, to be in it yourself, not just for 2 hours on Sunday morning. No, I'm talking about every day. That even with a busy 9 to 5, you should still be making time to do it. Because, like I said, you're not going to learn everything. You're not going to understand. You're not, you know, it takes time to take all the information is because of how big of a book it is. Like everybody says, it's like 66 smaller books put into one. So it takes time to learn everything. It takes time to really memorize everything. And so you got to start somewhere. So start with 10, 20 minutes. Start somewhere small and keep building on it. It's like they say, you do something so many times and it just becomes something you do. You don't even think about it anymore. Because at first it feels like a tall task. But once you just do it, you'll realize, nah, this wasn't near as hard as I thought it was going to be. So, but let's get into what we're going to talk about today, and something that a lot of people don't understand, especially in a world where we live off instant gratification. We live on instant communication, instant everything. And that's not always the way the world works. And sometimes you need to stay persistent. Sometimes you need to stay steadfast. Sometimes you need to just keep going because your answer's coming. But because there is a realm beyond our eyes, there is the spiritual realm. There are things going on that we don't fully understand or even see. And, a lot of people are like, well, I'm just not getting my prayer answered. Well, usually that means, number one, you either need to stay persistent in it, or number two, you were told no. And that's part of being in the Word as much as possible. That's how you learn the difference between the two of those. And we're going to talk about the prophet Daniel today, and he went through this. He prayed a prayer, and God sent Gabriel, the messenger, as soon as the prayer started. But then the Prince of Persia intervened, and for 21 days on earth, the message didn't get through. And Michael ended up coming down and creating the path for Gabriel, and then Gabriel started speaking to Daniel, and that's where we're going to pick up today. I like to call this the Prince of Persia defeated. Not in a literal physical way, but he had a goal and he failed. And part of it was Daniel stayed true. But we're going to pick it up right where Gabriel kind of enters the scene. So we're in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, and we're going to start with verse 10, and we'll see how far we go. And it says, "Then behold, a hand touched me and shook me on my hands and knees. And he said to me, Daniel, you who are treasured, understand the words that I am about to tell you, and stand at your place, for I have now been sent to you." And when he had spoken this word to me, I stood up trembling. Then he said to me, "Do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart on understanding this, and on humbling yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia was standing in my way for 21 days. Then behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left there with the king of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to you and your people in latter days, because the vision pertains to the days still future." When he had spoken to me according to these words, I turned my face toward the ground and became speechless. And behold, one who resembles a human was touching my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke and said to him who was standing before me, "My Lord, due to the vision, anguish has come upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can such a servant of my Lord talk with such as my Lord? As for me, there remains just now no strength in me, nor has been any breath been left in me." Then this one with human appearance touched me again and strengthened me. And he said, "You who are treasured, do not be afraid. Peace be with you. Peace be to you. Take courage and be courageous." Now, as soon as he spoke to me, I felt strengthened and said, "May my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me." Then he said, "Do you understand why I came to you? But I shall now return to fight against the Prince of Persia, so I am leaving. And behold, the Prince of Greece is about to come. However, I will tell you what is recorded in the writing of truth. Yet there is no one who stands firmly with me against these forces except Michael, your prince." And again, that is Daniel 10 through 21. That's the end of the chapter. And in chapter 11 and 12, Daniel gets the visions of the end times and things that we're probably getting ready to go through in today's world. Because, everybody who studied prophecies know on the major prophetical timeline, there's nothing left except for Revelation, except for the actual end days of the start. So, this was a message so important that hell tried to stop it. That hell knew that even though the words right then, the vision right then, it was going to be something used in the future. He knew how important those words were. He knew how important those visions were. And he tried to stop them. He tried to stop an archangel from passing a word that God said to pass. And ultimately failed. It's about being persistent. It's about holding tight, standing your ground, saying, I know an answer's coming. I know God's going to tell me. I know, and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to keep asking and fast maybe even, It's like Daniel said, because he was fasting through this too. He had no strength left. Like, his human body was tapped out. And, unlike another book that the prophet was terrified and the angel didn't comfort him. He didn't, he added to the fear. Whereas every time we see a real angel appear, he even told Daniel twice, "Fear not." This is a word from God. Stop being fearful and accept the word. And then he admitted, hey, part of it, I'm tapped out of strength. I need strength. And then Gabriel granted him strength. Like, he rejuvenated him, just like Jesus was rejuvenated after his 40 days of fasting. It was a very similar restoration of strength from above. So that's my main message today is stay persistent, stay in the Word, stay doing what you're supposed to do, stay listening for God, because you never know when that message might come through. You never know. It might be in an hour and it might be in 10 days. But we have not because we ask not. So ask and stay steadfast. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for today. If this is the first time one of my videos, if you would, please drop me a follow, hit that like button, share the video. That's just the way the algorithm works right now. So do this for anybody that you enjoy their content, especially smaller creators, because the only way our videos get any traction now is likes, comments, shares, all the interaction. Prayer is obviously number one, but number two, help with the algorithm. Help, like I said, any kind of interaction you do with it helps us a lot. All right, y'all. Try to stay, make sure you stay hydrated through this heat wave, It happens. It's summer, We, especially in America, we have an abundance of stuff, so keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself healthy, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.